So this year in 2023, Arizona Faith Network provided the largest amount of heat respite centers throughout Maricopa County. We have seen, as of today, over 25,000 visits to those sites. We hired over 53 employees to work in those heat relief centers, and our employees come from a range of areas, but we usually try to hire folks who are formerly incarcerated, coming back into the community, who are unemployed or underemployed, or who may be experiencing homelessness. We are so grateful to Governor Hobbs and her team this year for declaring a state of emergency for heat this summer and asking Arizona Faith Network to run the new state sites, because that gave us the opportunity to employ 8 seniors who are experiencing homelessness and to work with our partners at Justice Center for them to have transportation and access to an employment resource so they can get out of their situation and get into transitional housing. There's so many stories of life-saving care and transformation in our heat work that you will hear from today from our workers and from those who are experiencing these harsh temperatures.
My name is Irene Rushdan, and I am Community Resilience Program Manager with Arizona Faith Network. This year, compared to last year, was a little bit different because we had more centers that I got to manage. In Glendale, for example, we had caseworkers, and we also had transportation services that were offered at the centers in Glendale. The biggest impact this year is that I feel that more lives were saved, or we saw more lives saved. For example, many people that were coming in, we were able to identify heat exhaustion by the questions that we asked. There were several examples that really impacted me this year. For example, we had some of the community members who had reactions to overdosing, as well as some of the community members. I was able to utilize my skills in teaching to show them when they were actually experiencing heat exhaustion, even though they were not aware of it. For example, one of our community members came in, and I had to encourage her to come in. She had a pull somewhere else. And then when she came into the center, I was able to show her our heat relief model, and she looked at the model and read what heat exhaustion looked like, and then she recognized she was in the beginning stages of heat exhaustion, and she thanked me later on after she cooled down, got the hydration, and learned what heat exhaustion was. She said she was going to share that with the other unsheltered community members. One of the things this year that's been different is the more of the media presence, so making it more aware with our community. So for the future, I see more centers opening, and maybe that's hopeful thinking and wishful thinking, but I see more centers being involved, more churches, more community involvement, and also with our community members that utilize the centers, I see them being helped more.
So the relationship between St. John's and AFN began when Pastor Reverend Katie gave us a call and said that they were looking for congregations that would be willing to host heat respite sites. And we already have a food pantry that serves the community on Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Twice a month, we already do a shower ministry for people who are living on the street. And we already partner with Circle the City to provide health and mental health care, clothes. We provide food and other things. We've partnered with Cloud Covered Streets now to do the showers as well. So it was a natural fit with many of the things we are already doing, and we want to serve our neighbors who are struggling on the street, just like Jesus commanded us to do. He said that if you give water to the thirsty, you give shelter to the homeless, you give clothes to the naked, you visit those in prison, you've done it to me. And so we're serving Jesus as we're serving our neighbors who are struggling on the street right now. Anybody who comes to Heat Respite, they have an opportunity to get services that are going to help move them perhaps even off the street, or they can move them out of whatever situation they got into. And I'm grateful for those folks who have come many days during the week, and some of the greatest successes are the people who've gotten off the street, I think. People who've gotten into permanent housing, people who've gotten into drug rehab programs, people who are getting into medical care that they wouldn't have gotten into if it wasn't for this heat respite site. This congregation has a heart for people in need, and when they see our unsheltered neighbors, they want to do something about it. And heat respite has been one of the ways that this congregation's been able to respond and love our neighbors. So very, very supportive. Oh, I would just encourage other congregations to consider doing this next year, and that the ministry is so needed, especially as we don't know what climate change is going to bring, and summers are likely to be hotter. We need congregations to step forward. There are only 3 in Glendale. There could be a lot more in Glendale, and the need is going to be great in the future, and so just encourage other congregations to do this. Well, I would say that there's been a huge impact on the community. The number of people living on the street really has risen through the pandemic. The eviction crisis meant more people are out trying to find a safe place. And so without a doubt, I think we saved some people's lives this summer because AFN partnered with St. John's, and we were able to provide a safe place for people to get cool. We had the most 110 and above days this summer than any summer, and so people were very much at risk. And I think we can say with a lot of confidence that there are people probably alive today that wouldn't have been if St. John's and AFN hadn't partnershiped.
Yeah, it was very hot. Came in and I was offered cold beverage and something to eat. It's not easy. I mean, nothing's easy when you're homeless. So as far as program goes, I'd never seen anything like it or heard anything like it. Knowing that no matter what, there'll be a place where I can go that I can get something to eat Monday through Saturday for sure, because there's not always an easy way to get something to eat. Also know that it's a place where I can get a cold bottle of water and be able to get out of the heat. And I think that's the most important part, because from 12 to 8 is the worst time of the day to be out in this heat. First, I didn't know what I was going to do. Just try to find a job. Being homeless working is very, very challenging. A gentleman at one of the respite centers with the Phoenix Rescue Mission that helped me work on getting a housing voucher. I came to Arizona to try and work on living my life in recovery to get out of a drug addiction. And that's why I came to Arizona, is for help with that. Since I've been here and I have been getting help and treatment with my addiction, I've met these great people along the way that, I've shown them that I'm serious about changing my life. So they've shown me, the resources and tools they have to help me get my life back and get off the street. And that's what I did, because the gentleman that I met up there, I worked for him with the program that they have, and I told him my situation, what's going on, and just me showing up and meeting with him and communicating and being clean and being out there, trying to get a job. I'm trying to get hired on at UPS right now. Just the conversations that I've had with him, it's living on the streets is not a lifestyle for me. It's not something that I want for myself. It's just something that has happened in my life, and it's unfortunate, how it happened, and all the things that surrounded it. Being homeless out there is it's a scary place. It's a place I wouldn't wish on anybody. It's a lifesaver. I mean, from 12 to 8, it's the hottest time of the day. And when you don't have a job to go to, or you don't have a place to go to, being out in this heat it's life and death. I mean, it's seriously, there's no, people treat you differently when you're homeless. Like when I go into Circle K, and even though I have my own cup to ask to if I can just get some ice water, I feel like a challenge, because they look at me like I'm homeless, and like I don't have any money, so I shouldn't even be in their store. You know what I mean? Just to get some ice water, and that's even if I'm lucky and I have my own cup. You know, if I have to even ask for a cup, you know, they want money. That's frustrating. That's the frustrating part. So these places where you can go and know that there's definitely cold water and a place to cool down, and friendly. Every single person that I've met that volunteers or works at these places are some of the friendliest people I've met since I've been to Arizona. If these places weren't here, and I was here in Phoenix and in the same situation, I don't know what I would have done.
From my perspective as a Christian and serving from a place where where it's a sanctuary, I have seen people being transformed a little by little, but a story I really don't. But we do this for a hope that we pretty sooner or later we see that transformation in them. So our hope is to see it, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but in the near future we'll see that transformation. And we have to start from a low spot where we don't think we see it, but I know in the end or later it's going to have an effect on their lives for a positive.
My name is Eugene Glover, and I'm from Columbus, Ohio. I'm the lead here at St. John's Lutheran Church. It's here in Glendale. This was our first year participating in the Heat Respite Center. Well, believe it or not, we get impact from our clients every day, how much they appreciate it. Had a client come in and say, "Hey, you guys are saving lives." I said, wow, you know, like a doctor or something, but I can relate because 110 degrees out there, 115, hey, it's crazy heat wave out there. There was a client that came, and in the beginning, they were in pretty bad shape. And when I say that, I mean as far as addiction, as far as lack of self-respect for self, loss, you know, on top of that, homelessness. And coming to our respite center, say for 2 weeks straight, every day, loyally, and staying the whole period that we're open. And eventually, they got a chance to get some resources that were available through the caseworkers and navigators, that they took a chance and accepted some help. And come to find out, they got into a situation program and they doing better.
One day, you know, volunteering here one day, there's a food bank here. A lady came over from the food bank and said she needed help. There was a guy that passed out from heat exhaustion. I had to go over there, carry him to the respite center, give him water, lay him down, get him hydrated, until he even got to a point where he could be more coherent and know what's going on. So pretty much I kind of saved his life. It made me feel great because I helped somebody and that I helped him. It did make me feel good because it's better than not doing anything. I think it has a big impact because it's getting a lot of people off the street that would be on the street, keeping them indoors, giving them a meal that they might not be able to have without the center going on, and of course keeping them air conditioned, something they cannot have outside. I hope the program expands to more places so we can facilitate more people, because capacity is always an issue, so more locations means more capacity for more people that need help.
Our summers are getting hotter, our heat season is getting longer, and our neighbors are increasingly suffering from many socioeconomic issues. If you are interested in getting engaged in the Cooling Center Response Program work, you're invited. Just talk to our staff, sign up on ArizonaFaithNetwork.org. There's always a place for you. Just like we tell any of our Cooling Center guests, you belong here and you are loved. And so we hope you will come, engage, help, and serve so we can continue to make Arizona stronger together.